Hi, this is Bob Seitz, and you're looking at Full of Years. A wonderful comedian that I've met a couple of times named Aaron Freeman has a line that goes something like this. And listen carefully. If you're like me, and I know that I am, and then he goes on to say something about himself or about the audience. There's a tendency, I suppose, for all of us to wish that all the people around us were just like us, and that's the people we usually choose for friends. And in the case of this blog series that you're looking at, and hopefully that you'll read for a long time, there's that kind of presumption too. If you're like me, and I know that I am, I hope that, like me, you have a feeling about being spiritual, about following God's will that is not the usual. And that's what these blogs are for. Who are you? I've asked myself every time I sit down to write these. Every time I think of you, I thank God, and I think to myself, who are these people? I imagine you to be vital still, not necessarily perfectly healthy or wonderfully fit like you used to be, but certainly vital. You're alive and you're kicking, and you're making good things happen in your life. You have a deep devotion to God. I hope that's true, and I suspect it is. And by that I mean, it's not that you go to church every day or read your Bible as faithfully as you'd like, but that you feel connected to God in ways that you didn't when you were young. And that makes you deeply, deeply attached to God. We would call that pious. And I imagine that about you too. I also imagine that as you get older, some of this stuff isn't making sense like you hoped it would. There's some things you don't quite understand. There's some things you're afraid to talk about. Some of them have emotional and physical qualities, but a lot of them are just plain spiritual. And so you may not talk about those things, or even though you want to, and you wish there was a place to talk honestly. That's what I hope to do with you and for you as I think about my getting older and what it means to me, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So I think of you as somebody who wants to dig deeper, who wants to think more about what's out there spiritually than just what you're being spoon-fed. I have a sense that you wished for more in some places about your church life or your spirituality or the people around you in terms of their spiritual maturity. And so you have this yearning that isn't always being met. You're still loyal, I get that, so am I, to church, to other people, to what I've been taught or what I learned when I was younger or the God that I understood from my earliest years. I'm still loyal and I'm still faithful, but I still have questions. And those questions sometimes get answered in ways that I wished they wouldn't get answered. Give the old person answer. You ever get one of those? You ask a deeply personal or spiritual question and you get the old person answer. Well, I hope I don't do that for you, and I hope that you still seek those answers in your spiritual life and in your ways of thinking about God's will for you and God's place in your life. So I imagine you as fit and able in a spiritual way to deal with this getting older thing and to do it well, and want to seek somebody to walk alongside of you as you do this. I would like to be that person, and I would hope that these blogs help you to live full of years in your spiritual life and in the life that you share with others. God keep you.